See, filters you studied, filters concept. See, solids, filters, solid listeners, these all you studied. How many annotations are there? 3. What are those? At web solid, web listener. See, these all you studied. Web solid. Next, at web listener. Next, at web filter. So these annotations also you can write. You can write annotations also. Holidays up to Friday. So Friday next class. Okay. So after today, next class on Friday. So up to Thursday holidays, Friday next class. So instead holidays only 2 days. I am taking leave 2 days, total 4 days. But the other classes you contact other faculties only. Okay. Say at web solid, at web listener, at web filter. 3 annotations are there. 3 annotations you can use. So how to use at web solid you have seen. Same like that only at web listener, at web filter we can use. Say 2 filters programs you studied. One is filter, one more filters. Filter program run on server, localhost, Tomcat, next, finish. Say filter, after that login.html here. Suppose given username and password if it is exist. Given username and password if it is exist. If I click on submit button, how many programs executed? 2 programs. What are those? Login filter, welcome solid. Login filter and welcome solid. 2 programs executed. So welcome AAA. Okay. And given username password does not exist. If I click on submit button, how many programs executed? 1 program. That is login filter. Okay. Login filter, invalid username, password. But you are getting in address bar welcome only. Here, if you type existed username, existed password, you are getting out address bar welcome only. But if you type any other wrong password also, you are getting welcome only. But why we are getting welcome here? Welcome given, even welcome is a URL pattern of welcome solid. For filter also we given that one only. Filter also we given that one only. So actual concept of filter is dynamic dispatching concept. Dynamic dispatching concept. See the diagram, whatever is in previous classes. The diagram, say, this is a concept I asked. Without filters. Without filters, if you write what is the problem you have seen. Without filters. Say, this HTML program, same. Only one word different. This URL pattern we written here. This URL pattern we written here. This solid program, same. Only one word different. this URL pattern we return here, this URL pattern we return here. But instead of writing two servlets, if you want to write one servlet, you can write two submit buttons you can write in one HTML, otherwise two radio buttons you can write, like that you can write, or one combo box you can write. With that possible. But then also what is the problem is, in future one more service if you want to add, again you have to modify the servlet. Instead of that one only, we created filters. We created filters. This is we created. Now this filter not only for this filter not only for this, you can use for other also. This filter not only for this filter you can use for other applications also. How to use other application you have seen. Other application how to use you have seen. Okay. See. Suppose this is one login. This is login.html. Suppose mail login.html. It is mail solid. It is mail solid. Now it is one more chart login.html. It is chart login.html. Here chart solid. Chart solid .java. You can write. Here one filter only you can write. It is possible. Now say login filter .java. You can write. Now what you can do here, whenever submit button is clicked here, whenever submit button is clicked, this solid URL pattern will write. Okay. Here username, password. Here you will enter username, you will enter password. You will click on submit button. Then control comes here. Here also username, password. Now here submit button. If you click on this submit button, this is executed. Now like this will write. Say in XML file, it is web.xml. Say whenever you click on submit button here, you will type username, you will type password. Whenever you click on submit button, mail solid executed. Like that will write. Here whenever you click on submit button here, chart solid executed. Like that will write. But this login filter here in between you can insert. In between you can insert. How to insert? You will write here. What you will do is, whenever request comes to mail solid, divert the control to login filter. Like this will write. Same style, whenever request comes to chart solid, divert the control to login filter. You will write. Then what will happen? Whenever request comes to mail solid, control diverted to login filter. Whenever request comes to chart solid, control diverted to login filter. Here, whenever you click on submit button, request comes to mail solid. Already we configured whenever request comes to mail solid, divert the control to login filter. So it is diverted. If it is diverted like this. Here whenever request comes to chart solid, divert the control to login filter. Like this, control diverted. Now this login filter will receive username, will receive password. This username password will check in a database. It will check in a database. Given username password, if it is exist, it is database. Given username password if it is exists in database. Here if exist, are we writing here mail solid URL pattern? Are we writing here mail solid URL pattern? No. What we are writing? Filter chain. Okay. Now here we are not writing URL pattern of mail solid. We are not writing URL pattern of chart solid. What we are writing is filter chain dot do filter. Then what it will do? It will check in a XML file in any other filter configured. If other filter configured, other filter executed. If not configured, it will control send it will back. It is executed. Here also same. This control will send back. Suppose now in future, not only mail and chart, one more service added in your application. Suppose online shopping also added. Then what you can do? There also you can add this filter. Whenever request comes to shopping solid, divert the control to login filter. So this filter code is common to all solids. All solids can use. So it is dynamic dispatching. Suppose if you don't require, if you want to delete these links, anytime you can delete. So what you can do? If you delete here, that is deleted. If you delete here, this is deleted. The links are broken. Anytime you can break the link. Anytime you can create the link. That is a concept of filter. Filter one time only you are writing. Configuring many times. Configuring many times. Okay. Suppose one more task. It is HTML. It is solid. This filter I want to include. This filter I want to include. Two filters I want to include. Say it is HTML. Something homepage.html. Okay. This is something welcome solid. Welcome solid. Something welcome solid. It is first filter. First filter. Here second filter. Now these two filters I want to include. These two filters I want to include. Then what you can do? This filter, what you will configure? URL pattern of welcome solid. For this filter also configure welcome solid. In a top to bottom order, whichever is configured, that is executed first. So first control comes here. Control comes here. This filter executed. After that, here filter chain dot do filter will write. Then what it will do? Other filter also configured. Then control jumps to other filter. Here filter chain dot do filter. Now other filter cannot configured. It will send back to mail. Welcome solid. So like this we have tried filters. Okay. Now even yesterday you have seen this one also. Counting number of views for HTML page. Counting number of views for HTML page you have seen. This is your same. Here also. Say here what we configured. Whenever request comes to homepage.html, divert the control to counter filter. Like this you have seen. Okay. Now some web.xml configurations I have to explain. That is I'll explain. Note down. Web.xml. Web.xml. Note down. It is called as configuration file. This is already given, but some other configurations I'll explain. It is called as configuration file. It is called as configuration file, and it is used to configure solids, JSPs, solid listeners, filters, initialization parameters, context parameters, welcome files, dash dash, etc. Web.xml, it is called as configuration file and it is used to configure Sowlets, JSPs, Sowlet listeners, filters, initialization parameters, context parameters, welcome files, dash dash, etc. Say web.xml, it is called as configuration file and it is used to configure Sowlets, JSPs, Sowlet listeners, filters, initialization parameters, context parameters, welcome files, dash dash, etc. Say configuration of Sowlets, you studied. For configuration of Sowlets, we return Sowlet, Sowlet name, Sowlet class, Sowlet mapping, URL pattern. These tags we used. Okay. For configuring JSPs, JSP file tag will be there. Configuring Sowlet listeners, just listener class. Configuring filters, filter name, filter class, filter mapping, filter URL pattern. Like this you have seen. Initialization parameter, init param, param name, param value. Context param name, param value, context param. Welcome files also is possible. I'll show you. Say it is called as configuration file. It is called as configuration file and it is used to configure Sowlets, JSPs, Sowlet listeners, filters, initialization parameters, context parameters, welcome files, dash dash, etc. So many things we can configure. Say how to configure Sowlets. You studied. Suppose in this only you observe src main web app webanf web.xml. Here in a web.xml, here this is nothing but Sowlet configuration only. Sowlet name, Sowlet class, Sowlet mapping, Sowlet name, URL pattern. This is Sowlet configuration. It is filter configuration. Filter name, filter class, filter name, URL pattern. It is filter configuration. But listeners, you observe listener program, what we configured, that XML file also written. See listener, only listener class, listener class, listener class. That's it. This is listener configuration. Okay. Initialization parameters you have seen. Init param name, param value, param tags. These all in XML. See init params, context param. See context param name, param value. Like that only init param name, param value. So these all you studied. This one 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 you studied. Except JSPs welcome files. Okay. JSPs comes in JSP topic. Next topic that one only. JSP. Welcome file nothing but it is a default file. I'll explain. You observe welcome file how to configure. Here actually by default welcome file tags are there. You observe. So these are default welcome file configurations. First, it will search for index.html. If not there, it will search for index.jsp. It is also not there. It will search for index.html. Here default.html, default.jsp, default.html. These all not there. Welcome file will not come. By default, these all generated by Eclipse. But you can configure your own welcome file. How? I'll show you. For example, suppose this login program. This login program you observe. 1 minute. Control Shift W. Now, this login program I'll run. Run on server. This program or any program. Next, finish. Restart the server. Now, here you are getting like this. You are getting not found because one resource compulsory you have to write. Now in the login var file, which is on first page, homepage.html. This is like a welcome file. This one, if you configure, it automatically comes. That is called welcome file. Write it. Default file is called as welcome file. Default file is called as welcome file. Default file is called as welcome file. To configure welcome file, we use to configure welcome file. 1 minute. We use welcome file list and welcome file tags in web.xml. To configure welcome file, we use welcome file list and welcome file tags in web.xml. Example, welcome file list, welcome file / homepage.html. Welcome file. Welcome file list. Welcome file list, welcome file / homepage.html. Welcome file list. Welcome file list open, welcome file list close, in between one welcome file. Welcome file is / homepage.html. Now, if you write like this page URL, this page, no need to type in address bar. It is automatically opened. Okay. Say, this is called now default file. Say, what I'll do, just observe. This code I'll write. This code I'll write in the XML. Then this page automatically opened because default file. Say, in this here, I'll write. After this, I'll write welcome file. Now / homepage.html. I'll write. Now, previously if I run, it did not executed. Now you observe, right click, run as, run on server, save. Restart. Now directly homepage.html appears. See? So I didn't type, you observe. I didn't type. That is default. So in your website, many programs will be there. Which program you want to make it as default? That is, you have to type. Then it is automatically opened. No need to type. So suppose in this web application, how many files are there? Home page is there, login is there, registration is there, even servlets we have. Okay, servlets also we have. Now these URL patterns also will be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 6 programs, which program you want to execute as a default? That program URL pattern you have to write. It will be open. Otherwise, you have one more option. The file name you can change like a index.html. That program only, instead of homepage.html, make it index.html. That will be open automatically. So file name only index.html if you write, no need to type. You observe, otherwise I'll show you. You observe. File, new, dynamic web project. Okay. Now suppose application name test. Next, Next, XML. It is configured automatically. Welcome file. See, now what I'll do, say, right click, new HTML. Now while writing HTML file only, index.html write. Next, finish. Now suppose here I'll write some code. Say body bg color equal to cyan, text equal to red, level 1 heading, here welcome. Let's written. Now this program no need to execute. You observe, no need to type. Run on server. No need to type. It automatically comes. If I run directly, that welcome appears. No need to type URL pattern. See, I didn't type that index.html. Without typing index.html, only index.html opened. Here index.html is not there. It is opening. So default welcome file is index.html. Write that one. Note, default welcome file is index.html. Default welcome file is index.html. So here we have two options. File name, write index.html. Otherwise, your file name you configure like this. If you write file name index.html, no need to configure. By default comes. Your file only you configure. Otherwise, in your application, one file name index.html, write it. That is automatically opened. Otherwise, whatever you want to write file name, that file like this you configure, automatically open. That is welcome file concept. Okay. So how to configure Soulets you studied, listeners you studied, filters you studied, initialization parameter, context parameter, welcome file. JSPs in JSP program comes. Now URL mappings also, there are three types of URL mappings possible. That is also I'll explain. Now there are three ways to configure Soulets. There are three ways to configure Soulets. Now, first one, exact match. Second one, directory match. Third one, extension match. First one, exact match. Second one, directory match. Third one, extension match. First one, exact match. Example. There are three ways to configure Soulets. First one, exact match. Second one, directory match. Third one, extension match. Say, file, new, dynamic web project. Otherwise, in this program only write. Right click, new, Soulet. Here, Java package, suppose test. Suppose it is display Soulet. Display Soulet. Next, this URL pattern, whatever you want, you can write. Suppose I'll write display. Okay. Click on OK. Next, get type request. Finish. Now here, what you can do is here. Here, print writer. Program no need to write, it is nothing. Request response dot get writer. Response dot get writer. Now pw dot println welcome. Okay, you can add some HTML code. pw dot println HTML input type equal to body bg color suppose red, text equal to yellow, level 1 heading. This is HTML, body close, HTML close. Control Shift O. Now this program here in XML file here already configured, you can see. Now here what is configured, see, /display configured. Now you have to write /display in the address bar if you want to run. If you want to run, you have to run on server, save. Here by default which program comes, previous program comes again, because already a written file. Now this is coming, this is leave it. Now I'll type here URL pattern display. See, this display executed. Okay, here whatever is there in the XML, this is as it is matched, no? /display, there also /display. It is called exact match example. Okay, so here in a web.xml, just no need to write complete program, you already studied this all. URL pattern we written /display. URL pattern in a browser. Browser what we'll do, we'll write same http localhost 8082 / that is test something /display will write. Here this display, it is called exact match. It is called exact match. Write example. This is already studied exact match. Everyday exact match only we have seen. So whatever we written in the XML file /display, that is only you're writing in the browser window /display. That is called exact match. As it is, whatever is there, that should match. That is called exact match. Is it over? So this is called exact match. So in XML file, I written /display. In a browser window address bar also /display. So this is as it is matched. It is called exact match. Then only it is file is opened. Then only program is executed. Okay. It is exact match. Second one, directory match. Directory match example. Directory match example. Directory match example, you observe. Here in the address bar, what I'll do, just observe. In the place of slash display, I'll write slash ABC slash. Okay, slash ABC slash I written. Okay, let it written. 1 minute. The star. Okay, 1 minute. See slash ABC. What I written, you observe. Slash ABC slash. Now I run this one. Run on server. Save. Here slash ABC slash something, whatever you want, you can write. This is star we have to write. 1 minute. Here star required. Slash ABC slash star. If I run, see, right click, run on server, save. Now in address bar, what we can do is now slash ABC slash compulsory. After that, whatever you want, you can write. See, hello. Now here, not only hello, you observe here, whatever you want, you can write. That is allowed. But slash ABC slash compulsory. This is like a one directory. With any other name also you can execute. This is one type of mapping. See, example here, web.xml. Web.xml URL pattern slash ABC slash star URL pattern. In a browser window. In a browser window, HTTP colon localhost colon 8082 slash ABC slash whatever you want, you can write. This is called directory match. Star place, whatever you want, you can write. It is called directory match. So slash ABC slash, that is like a directory. Nothing but folder type. Whatever you want, you can write. Star place, whatever you want, you can write. Here I written hello. Star place, whatever you want, you can write. Here, whatever you write ABC, this ABC must match. It is like a directory type. It is called directory match. Here, any other name you can write. This is one way. Okay. Is it over? Next one, extension match. Third one, extension match. Example. Third one, extension match example. Say here, what you can do is here something you can write. Something star dot do I written. Okay. It is dot do extension. Dot do is a extension. Now, what I'll do, just observe. If I run as run on server, save. Extension should be .do. Whatever you want, you can write. After this, one for ABC, suppose ABC .do. So .do must match, but remaining whatever you want, you can write. Suppose, for example, what I'll do here, in the place of .do, .cpp I'll write. Okay. Then in the address bar, what you have to write? .cpp. See here, demo.cpp. That means, is it C++ file? No, it appears like a C++ file. Okay, like in the address bar, .cpp appears. Then what people will understand, this is C++ program executed, they'll think it is not C++. So suppose if I write .html appear, you write. Then HTML program will think actually backside solid running. Okay, so this is extension match. So this is extension match. Web.xml. You have to write URL pattern star.cpp URL pattern. In a browser window, http:// localhost 8082 / here demo.cpp. Here .cpp must match. It is extension match. So here, whatever you write extension, that extension, this extension must match. But here, any name you can write. Star place any name. Demo also, test also, ABC, XYZ, whatever you want, you can write. But extension must match. This is one type of mapping. Is it over? Now, suppose in this program, login program, here 3 solid are there. You see, login solid, registration solid, welcome solid. 3 solids are there. Login solid, registration solid, welcome solid. Now I'll open one solid here. First of all, this application, this var file name like a login. This application name login. Login. If I deploy, first which object created? Solid context created. First of all, solid context created. The object creation order by web container. You have seen the object creation order by web container. You studied the object creation order by web container. First, what is created? Solid context. Next, user defined solid. Next, solid config. Next, solid request and solid response. Okay. See, first is solid context, next user defined solid, next is solid config, next is solid request and solid response. These all created. Okay. This order. Now, first is whenever application deployed, solid context created. Solid context is created whenever web application is deployed on server. When this is executed, when this is object created, whenever first request comes to a solid. When solid config is called, whenever init method is called. When init method is called, whenever first request comes to a solid. That means this is first, next this is created. When this is created, every request, solid response. Every request, solid response. Both executed. Okay. This is object creation order by web container. Object creation order by web container. Okay. First of all, solid context created. Okay. Whenever web application is deployed, solid context created. Now, in this program, in this application, how many solids are there? 3. Login solid, registration solid, welcome solid. So here what will happen? First is solid context created. Solid context nothing but some memory. This memory, is it common to all solids or specific to one solid? Now, whatever is created this solid context memory can be used by login solid, registration solid, welcome solid. All solids can use this memory. Okay. So that is the reason first whenever application deployed, then only created. So actually what you can do, you have seen just recently filter program, listener program at the time you studied. This is one solid. This is one solid. This solid, something data is there. This data, if you want to pass to this solid, how will pass? What is it? Some data is here. This data I want to pass here. There are so many options. Now some say for example in core Java. Here one program. This program to this program, if you want to pass the data, you will write one method here. Void, like void, something method, support display or get display. Here integer a. Now this is a class, some class is there. What we will do here, that class object will create AOB equal to new a, OB dot display. From here, you can pass one number. This number from this program to this program received. That is possible. Now this object you are creating here, you are calling like that. But this solid object will create here. No, you are not creating. Because solid object created by web container. Suppose this is one solid. This is one solid. First solid. This is one more solid. Second solid. Now, from this solid data, I want to pass to this solid. Some data is there, I want to pass. How will pass? Think yourself and give answer. So many ways are there. I want to pass some data from here to here. So many ways are there. Not 1, 2, 3 ways. Many ways are there. Now, suppose here I will write one method. That method can you call from here? Can you call? How will call? That object are you creating? No. That object you are not creating. Okay. See, from first solid to second solid, I want to pass the data. From first solid to second solid, I want to pass the data. Suppose here I'll write one method, one instance method I'll write. That method, if you want to call, how many ways? Two ways. What are those? Object reference. Are you creating object here? No, that object who will create? Web container. That's what you should not write like that. Like a core Java style, you cannot write. Next. There are so many ways. Give me answer. Your online student, 3 members give an answer. Right or wrong, I have to check. Give me answer. Here some data is there. I want to pass the data. So many ways are there. Session tracking. So here you'll create one session tracking. HTTP session HS equal to request.session. Set attribute. Here get attribute. That is one way. Next. Redirecting data, will it come? No. If you write redirecting, you have to use session tracking. With that possible. One more way, request. Request.set attribute. Here request.get attribute. One more way, context. From here you set here. You retrieve here. Now set attribute. Context can be used by first solid also, second solid also. Get attribute. Now if you use session attributes, what will happen? In that session only possible. Request attributes, in that request only possible. But context, every total application possible. Not only this solid. Suppose it is one more third solid is there. This solid also can retrieve. One more fourth solid is there. This solid also can retrieve. You are setting attribute here. Get. 3 places you can get with context. That is only context usage. But session attribute, if you set, in that session only possible. Once if the session is logged out, that is vanished. But this is until application undeployed, it will be there. Because when solid context created, whenever web application is deployed, when solid context is destroyed, whenever web application is undeployed. So that's what initially it will creates. Now here 5 solids are there. 5 solids are there in program. Now some data required. The data required for all solids. You use this one. Okay. So what you can do, you can set from this one. This can be used by all. But request parameters, that request, as long as that request is there, up to that it will be there. Once if you redirect, new request comes. Not possible. Forward if you write, request okay. In forwarding, what will happen? Same request forwarded. But once if you redirect, it is vanished. Once if you redirect, what will happen? The data will not come. But context, you can. Context, you can set data in context, you can retrieve from context. That is the use of context. Application, entire application, all solids can use the attributes, context attributes. Okay. That's what first, whenever deployed, then only created. This can be shared by among all solids in that XML, in that web application. After this, user defined solid object created. So in this program, first whenever you deploy, first what will happen? Solid context created. This is common to login solid, register solid, welcome solid. After this, user defined solid object created. This is whenever first request comes, this object created. With this object, init method called. Next, servlet config created. So solid config created. Next, solid request, solid response, because service method called. Nothing but do get or do post, service to life cycle service to non-life cycle service, non-life cycle service to do get or do post. Then these two created. Like whenever next request comes, no, only this is called. Only this is called. Okay. So like that it works. Like that it works. But here in this application, what we did, you observe, Here connection establishment code. Where we written? Init method. When init method called? Whenever first request comes to a servlet. See, you observe first request, second request. How much difference is there? You observe. Whenever first request comes, login servlet object created. With that method, with that object, init method called. Servlet config created by container passed here. After that, connection established. After that, it will check in a database, given username, password exists or not. Suppose second request comes, what will happen? Directly do post. Nothing but service to do post. It is called. But now it is server, it is client. Like 3 clients are there. It will send a request to check username, password exists or not. It will get the response. Again, it will send the request. Second request, it will write the response. Third request, this response. Now, in these 3, okay, like second, third. Now, third is not required. Leave it. 2 requests enough. Now, it is first request. Now, first response. Second request. Second response. Here and here time. Same time or less or more? Like which one less, which one more? Second request response, less time. First request, it takes more time. First request comes now, what will happen? Object created. Init method called. Servlet config created. Connection establishment done. Later service. But here, directly service. Servlet object, no need to, no need to create again. And again, init method, no need to call. Connection establishment, no need to call. Directly service. So, first request, more time it will take. Second request onwards, quickly comes. Instead of this, you can configure this one also in XML file. What we can do is, one tag is there. One tag. Here what we can do, servlets. Suppose this servlet. Here one tag is there, load on startup. Load on startup 1. I'll write. If you write like this, what will happen? Only one line, just one line if you attach like this. Whenever application deployed, then only object created, then only init method called, then only config created, then only your connection established. When first request comes now, only service is executed. So first request, second request, no change. If you write this one, first request, how much it will take? Same time it will take for second request also. Just if you add this line, one line if you attach, that is load on startup tag in web.xml. Okay. Write this one. This is not required. Load on startup tag. In web.xml. It indicates web container. It indicates web container to execute. It indicates web container to execute. It indicates web container to create an object to servlet. It indicates web container to create an object to servlet and call init method. It indicates web container to create an object to servlet and call init method whenever web application is loaded. it indicates web container to create an object to Solid and call init method whenever web application is deployed, whenever application is loaded. That's what load on startup. While loading only started. Say example Solid class, Solid name, suppose login, Solid name. This is in a web app. Solid class, suppose login Solid. Here load on startup. Load on startup. Solid close. Again, remaining normal you can write. After that, suppose another Solid is there. Okay, another Solid, suppose here only. Solid, again Solid name, registration, Solid class, registration Solid, load on startup, suppose 2, load on startup, Solid, remaining all nothing, same as it is at last web app. If you write first this Solid loaded, next this Solid loaded, order. So this tag is there while starting only, while loading only it is started. That meaning load on startup. If many Solids are there, numbers you can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. But by mistake, if you write negative number, that will not be loaded. Negative numbers are negative numbers. If you write not loaded. Is it over? Say load on startup 1, load on startup 2. Now your application will deploy. Your application will deploy. Whenever application is deployed, then only login Solid object created. Then only init method called. Registration Solid object created. Registration Solid init method called. That means connections are ready. When first request comes, then directly service call here. Here also service call. That means it is ready. So then what will happen? First request also, second request also, same time it will take. You can reduce the requested response time for first request. That is only benefit. Okay. So load on startup 1, load on startup 2. That means this is first created, this is second created. Suppose year, if you write 2, year 1, then first this is loaded, this is loaded. That is order. This is also web.xml configuration. Okay. Up to here, JDBC completed. Already you have seen 4 topics. JDBC completed. Servlets completed. Next, servlet listeners completed. Next, filters completed. Okay. Next, remaining all JSP related only. Okay. So next, JSP is there. JSP using Java beans. These are very small topics. JSP EL. Next, JSTL. Next, MVC. Last, reflection API. These are all small topics only. By 25th, it will finish. By 25th, 25th max. Okay. Up to here, JDBC completed, servlets completed, listeners completed, filter completed. Okay. We'll see next class on Friday. Next class on Friday. Okay. Advance happy Dasara to all. Thank you.